This is Barry Zalma speaking for Zalma on Insurance on YouTube. I am an attorney who has retired from the practice of law and now spend my time acting as an insurance claims consultant and insurance claims expert witness. I am also an author. I've written many books on insurance claims and insurance claims handling, and prepare these videos, hopefully daily, about insurance and insurance claims. Today I'd like to discuss the acquisition of the policy of insurance. The person buying insurance may only acquire insurance from an insurer by one of three methods: by meeting with an agent of the insurer. The agent is a person appointed by the insurer or insurance company to transact the business of insurance with and on behalf of the insurer. The agent usually has the right to bind insurance in the name of the insurer without first obtaining permission from the insurance company or its underwriters. The prospective insured presents his or her needs to the agent, who will either accept or reject the proposed insurance. If accepted, the prospective insured is immediately an insured of the insurer. For example, California Insurance Code Section 31 defines an insurance agent as a person authorized by and on behalf of an insurer to transact all classes of insurance other than life, disability, or health insurance on behalf of an admitted insurance company. Second, the insured can obtain insurance by dealing with an insurance broker. An insurance broker is a person who transacts insurance with, but not on behalf of, an insurer. The broker's only duty is to the prospective insured, so he or she shops for the broadest coverage available at the lowest possible price. The broker cannot bind an insurer without first obtaining a commitment in writing to insure the potential insured. California Insurance Code Section 33 provides a good definition of the term as follows. Insurance broker means a person who, for compensation and on behalf of another person, transacts insurance other than life, disability, or health with, but not on behalf of, an insurer. Third, a policy can be obtained through what is known as a direct writer of insurance. Some insurers who act as a direct writer refuse to deal with either agents or brokers. They will accept proposals for insurance directly from a prospective insured who will speak, usually by telephone, with an employee of the insurer who has the authority to accept a particular risk. Some direct writers even obtain and sell insurance on the internet by simply filling a form out on a website and receiving a compensated insurance coverage directly from the insurance company with a bill. The agent is compensated solely by a commission from the insurer. The broker is usually compensated by a commission from the insurer plus a fee charged to the client policyholder, the insurance applicant, and eventual insured. The direct writer, on the other hand, pays a salary to the person who meets, usually by telephone or online, with a prospective insured who can accept certain risks directly or with the permission of the insurer's underwriting department. In Superior Dispatch, Inc. versus the Insurance Company of New York, the California Court of Appeal concluded that, and I quote, representations in an insurance application prepared by an insurance broker on behalf of an insured are attributed to the insured as a matter of law. Insureds are accountable, therefore, for all statements made on their behalf by brokers, who are their agents, as opposed to agents of the insurers. When a broker prepares an application for insurance, it is imperative for the prospective insured to carefully review the application, to verify the accuracy of the statements made in it. Otherwise, insureds can face the possibility that insurers may attempt to void coverage if there is a misrepresentation or concealment of material facts. Most agents do not make insurance decisions. Most brokers certainly do not. They all have to obtain the insurance to provide coverage from a person known as the underwriter. The person who makes the decision to insure or not insure a prospective insured in modern practice is called an underwriter. Like the original underwriters at Lloyd's, the person with the title underwriter is usually an employee of an insurer who was employed for the express purpose of evaluating the risk the insurer-employer is willing to take. The agent or broker deals directly with the insurer's underwriter, or an agent appointed by the insurer to act as its underwriter. The agent and broker try to present the risk to the insurer and the insurer's underwriter, who is best suited for the risk that is seeking insurance. The underwriter is the risk taker. At Lloyd's, the underwriter risks his or her own funds or the funds of the corporation for which that particular underwriter at Lloyd's is working. In modern insurance company practice, the underwriter is the person who risks the funds of the insurer for whom he or she works. The underwriter decides whether the risk presented by the broker or agent is the type of risk that the insurer is willing to take. Each insurer has specialized underwriters who look at risks differently and different risks and use their own criteria to evaluate them. The process of evaluating a risk sometimes falls to a person known as the loss prevention engineer. If the risk the prospective insured proposes is large, he or she will often be visited by a loss prevention engineer. The engineer will appear either before there is an agreement to insurance or within the first 60 days of an insurance policy agreed to determine whether or not the policy agreed to was as represented in the application. This person, usually employed by the insurer or acting as an independent contractor, is obligated to inspect the prospective insured's real and personal property and to interview him or her to ascertain that the insured and the property meet the requirements the insurer insists upon before it will accept a risk for insurance or continue a risk that has been accepted. Often the risk inspection takes place after the insurance is agreed between an underwriter and a broker or an agent, but still the policy relies on an appropriate and favorable loss prevention engineer report. An adverse report from the loss prevention engineer may result in cancellation or a requirement to improve the risk, such as installing a burglar alarm or fire sprinklers, if the insurer wishes the policy to remain in force and if the insured is willing to do the extra necessary to allow it to be in force. The loss prevention engineer should note, at the very least, the size, construction type, and physical condition of the structure, the risks of loss of which is the subject of the insurance applied for by the prospective insured, the protections available to the structure like burglar and fire alarms, sprinkler systems, deadbolt locks, fire extinguishers, security guards, fences, etc. The engineer should also note the type and value of the contents of the structure, the management of the business that occupies the structure if it is a business, or the type of individuals who are residing at the residence and how they treat the residents if they're seeking coverage on a residence. Any hazards to fire, flood, windstorm, theft, earthquake, or other perils, such as proximity to brush, to rivers, streams, and earthquake zones. The records of the business occupying the structure and whether they will be adequate to establish the amount of loss if a loss occurs. The insurance history and loss frequency of the prospective insured, any work that the prospective insured might have to perform to make the structure acceptable to the insurer's agreement to insure against the risks of its loss, any unusual risks of loss like an active landslide near the structure, a body of water that has a propensity to flood, dangerous animals at the premises like a live alligator, piranha fish in a tank, vicious junkyard dogs, wild animals like chimpanzees, lions, tigers, bears, coyotes, etc., and the actual cash value of the property and the cost to repair or replace the real or personal property in the event of a loss. The loss prevention engineer coordinates and directs engineering studies and technical services within all of the recognized loss prevention engineering fields. He or she also develops loss control methods, procedures, programs, and mechanisms to eliminate or reduce loss, identifies high loss potentials, designs control programs, communicates elements of the program to the insurer and insured, and measures the effectiveness of control programs through statistical evaluation. The loss prevention engineer, however, has no power other than to make recommendations. If the underwriter agrees with the engineer's recommendations, he or she will forward them to the insured and advise the compliance with them is a condition of continued coverage. If the insured fails to implement the recommendations, most insurers will cancel the insurance policy or refuse to issue it at all. Many insurers also use a Prerisk inspection service. If the risk is residential or a specialty type of business, the insurer will have it inspected by a special company. This Prerisk inspection service, who are not engineers. Its inspectors are often experienced claims adjusters who understand the types of hazards faced by prospective insureds and their prospective insurers. The Prerisk inspection service is versatile and entails much more active participation from the prospective insured than do the activities of the loss prevention engineer. After it completes its inspection, as with the loss prevention engineer, it recommends changes to the insurer. The insured will usually be required to make these changes as a condition of coverage before insurance takes effect. This video was based upon a part of Volume 1 of Zalma on Insurance Claims, a 10-volume work on insurance claims that I have published through Amazon.com. It is also available with links on my website, www.zalma.com, by clicking on the link to the Insurance Claims Library. There you will find a link to all of my books and materials available through Amazon.com as both a Kindle book or as a paperback, which are priced very reasonably and available to anyone interested. If you found this video to be useful to you, please subscribe to Zalma on Insurance on YouTube so that you can view all of my YouTube videos and be advised of all new videos as they are made.